Can I speak into here? Like, hold it? All right. 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. Love is patient, love is kind. It is not envy, it is not boast, it is not proud, it is not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Anyways.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. Back in the set.
So the conversation is let's talk about love. So I just want to ask the room, how y'all feel about love right now? We in the loving season. You know, it's February, but how y'all feeling?
I feel like love says a lot about your mentality, and I feel like love plays a vital part in who you are and who you become, especially the love that you receive when you're young. I believe that your understanding of what love is in your own mind will start to warp and shape your thought process. I was going to ask you too. It would warp and shape the thought process when it comes to a lot of things in life.
Thank you. So what do you mean, strategist, that it will help you shape the things,
Like your thought process?
your thought process. That's interesting.
I feel like a lot of stuff, especially us being made by a God who his whole identity is revolved around his love. I believe that inherently our desire is to be loved and to love. And the way you receive that growing up and just in life in general, and the understanding you have when it comes to how you love and how people perceive you when it comes to being loved, it will start to dictate some of the things that you desire in life. For example, a lot of people desire to be wealthy simply because of the accolades that come with it.
Okay.
And a lot of times they want the accolades because they want that sense of worth. And when you are loved, that's someone telling you that in my eyes you are worth it. You know what I mean? And to get your sense of worth from love is a stronger, I guess you could say, foundation than having a sense of worth from accolades. People, you know what I'm saying, worshiping you because of something that you achieved or done or have done in life. So I believe that however you see love and wherever you are when it comes to how you feel loved will dictate how you feel about certain things and your ambitions and what you want to do in life and the way you handle situations.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. That's deep too.
Yeah. I'm like, man.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. I agree with you in a sense too. I think that a lot of times people are looking for love, and that love. I always think about how love really is too, because I think that there's different elements of love, you know, and it's fake love. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about it.
Right. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
There's
a lot of fake love going on.
There's a lot of fake love.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there's puppy love.
What is that?
Puppy love
You
is
like for actual dogs or?
It can't be that, but no. So puppy love. I was looking at this commercial the other day. They let puppy. We got something for puppy love too. But yeah, because puppy love is like when you're really young, and then you think that you're in love and stuff, and it doesn't. It's just that type of young type of love that's sometimes never really go anywhere. It's just puppy love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So love is very, very interesting, and I think that we should let people know really what that means, from our point of view.
For sure.
And I think that that'll help.
For sure. I mean, how I view love is like having that ability, that innate feeling that God is always loving you. You know, I always think like God is amazing. He loves us so much that we feel that love and we pour it on other people as well. So I always feel like the strongest your love is that it shows and it gives you that understanding of your relationship with God. You know, because if you can love God the same way He loved you, although you can't, you're going to show other people, and people are going to be able to see and feel that love. They're just going to see you and be like, wow, this person is amazing. I don't even know what it is about this person. I could just feel love in them. And they want to always be around you. They're going to always want to sit with you and just see, like, what's going on with you because they can feel the love. So that's my perspective.
What about you?
The way I see love is like where we are today, right? So God have to. This is God right now, right? We're in this room. We're in the presence of God as well. You feel me? So God has poured love into each and every one of us in our hearts. Like today, Apostle, she loved us. You know, look at what she's doing today.
Right.
It's all God is pouring all that love into her to like pour it all into us too as well.
Yeah.
We're learning from her. You know that.
Now you know a camera runs. A camera rolling. No, but that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I view love. So without God, there will be like no love. You know. So that's the only way we can. So for people that will say, I don't believe in God, I don't think that they feel what love is. So you have to believe in God to know what love is.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree.
What you thinking, Jazz? How you feeling?
1 Corinthians, love is kind, love is patient. I can't cite the whole verse, but that's also what I'm still trying to figure out too, as a person. But I feel like love is all around, and it's not just a feeling, but it's an action and a behavior, and it's like a whole persona. So
a behavior, I like
behavior, most definitely.
That's deep right there within itself. Love is behavior. That is special. That's real special, and I think that love is not always too directed towards humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's real. I mean, I love clothes.
Right.
I love clothes. Like, I love getting dressed. I feel like that's one of the best things. Like, just putting on a nice outfit and just going out and just doing your own thing. You know, I feel like that love, it still connects with the same thing with God love. He wants us to look nice. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. They all can interconnect. It's love, you know? Love can be translated in so many different ways, but it's emotion. You know, it's a feeling. So.
And I also think about, though, like, some people really love their careers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people really, I love volunteering. I volunteered actually 4 times a week. Actually, I'm sorry, 2 times a week, but for 4 hours a week. I volunteer, and I love it. I love it to the core. I love being a help to somebody. I love stepping in when somebody can't do it. I love that. I love it. I just love to be able to step in, take a load off of somebody if I can, and I don't need a whole bunch of response from that. Like, oh, you did a good job. Thank you. I don't need that because I'm too busy loving it.
Yeah.
And so when I definitely go to, I actually do it at the library. I volunteer at the library, and when I'm doing it, when I'm volunteering, they be like, oh, thank you so much, Angela. Thank you so much. Thank you. And my response to them is, I love it. They like, really? I said, I absolutely adore it. I love it. So love to me is not just things, right? It's also, it's not just people. It's things. It's things, and so some people be thinking that, well, you don't really love things if that's not really real love.
Right.
No, it is real love, right? Because if I become a mechanic to work on airplanes, and I happen to love doing that, then I'm making everybody much safer, much better. They're gonna actually feel me because I am that person that's a mechanic on that airplane. And I just did that hypothetically. But the reason why we're talking about love like this is because some people's jobs are so important to our everyday being.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I think about who made it. Who did it? I always think about when I'm eating food. I always think about who was in that factory, right?
I'll be thinking that.
Who was in the back making that meal?
Right? Who drove the truck? I mean, come on. Right?
Where you
Who
at?
was that? Right?
Yeah.
Who was that fisherman?
Right.
Who was that fisherman who actually got this lobster out of the sea?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I go that deep with it. Because I believe, and some people, I'll just, this one story, it was around Christmas time one time, and you know how they have the houses all decorated. We went into the neighborhoods to look at the decorated houses, and there was a man that opened the door. He said, "My name is John, and I'm a fisherman."
That's great.
He said, yeah, it was so sick. Right. And he loves to do it because he know that, that was the disciples, and the Lord was, Jesus Christ was making them, they were fishermen. And so he loved to he opened up, "My name is John, I'm a fisherman." And he said, but the gist of it is that he said, "I love doing it. I love fishing." Mm-hmm. He goes out in these big ships and he stays out for months at a time fishing. Mm-hmm. And he said he loved doing it.
So on that note, right? There's people, like maybe we all understand what love is, right? Yeah. But what about the people who don't understand love? Yeah. Like, how would they even understand this conversation? Like how I'm thinking about it. Like for somebody who's just in a place where they've been really distraught, they've been really messed up, they went through some hardship, they don't even know how to, they get in love, but they don't know how to receive it, or they don't know how to give it back to someone else. So like, how would, like, what's your thoughts on that?
So it's so funny that you would say that, because when we first put out our video strategies, mm-hmm.
One of the videos I was talking about is how we need to love each other, right? We need to stop all of this backbiting, hating, mm-hmm. and start loving somebody, and then start at ground level. Just make a decision, a choice. You know what I'm saying? To start loving somebody, right? I went down a rabbit hole with it just for 1 minute, because he put the video out. It was just a 1 minute video. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, I got so much negativity coming back. But on one...
You putting out a video of love. And people got a whole problem with it.
But then when I realized, because this is one of the responses that came back. One of the responses was... how can you love something? How can you do something that is impossible to do? So they thought it was impossible to be able to love or to receive it. So based off of that, that's what it's about. People actually look at love also from where they were brought up, because basically, so I don't have a problem with that. Because I was brought up under love. Like, I had so much love growing up. Like, love. Look, that's why I can give it to a zillion people, because I was brought up with love. My mother always loved us so much. We a family of thick love, thick. So I don't even understand it from that perspective, except the way that the Lord had told me about it. And basically, it's not the norm, y'all.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not the norm.
It's not at all.
It's not the norm.
And I believe that the reactions that we were getting from that video shows that it's not the norm.
That's right.
But one of the things that kind of makes me think of is, like, there's two different sides to love. Because when people think of love, they think of just fluffy, cute, cuddly, everything is nice and dandy. But there's a uncomfortable side to love.
Yeah,
there's I gotta forgive this person side to love. There's so a lot of times when you do understand that, people who react to a video talking about love with so much backlash shows that you just hit a point in their heart. And for a lot of them, they didn't even know it. Mm-hmm. They didn't even know that they maybe didn't have this in their life.
That's correct.
And they may have built up a defense mechanism of, I guess you could say, replying with backlash, because they feel like you're being condescending or whatever, not knowing that they don't have what you're describing in that video. And I believe that that's why God always tells us that the way we will win souls to the kingdom is by loving people.
That's right.
By introducing to them, this is what love is.
Yeah,
this is because when you introduce to people what love is, you're introducing to them who God is.
That's correct.
What I mean? And I think love, and even when you guys are talking about, I love clothes, I love helping, I love this, I love that. I mean, think about your purpose. I mean, we just had a podcast about success and finding your purpose and achieving greatness. You have to really love what you're doing and love the vision that God is giving you, or the vision you're chasing, in order to put your neck out there on the chopping block and get uncomfortable and go through rejection, whatever it is that you do. So I believe that love is like a universal, almost like an element, you know what I mean? Like, to think that the God who made the universe is love, like he's the definition of love, that in itself speaks volumes to me. So I think love is something that can be talked about for hours.
Yeah, for sure.
For hours.
And I think love goes with, it goes with, like, I can love you this much. Love can be like in so many different variables. Because I mean, even yesterday I was going through a series of roughness, and I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because it's like it has yardage to it. Like sometimes it has yardage. Like you're gonna have to really, like, no matter who it is, it could be your spouse, it can be your brother, your sister, it can be your children, it can be your best friend, it could be anybody, and then it's measured, right? It has a yardage to it. Like, I loved you until, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That right there. I loved you until. But then how does that work?
Right.
Because I say this because I know so many people. I can talk about this all day, like you said, but like some people go through relationships and they going through hard relationships where somebody, maybe somebody's cheating, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
they cheating, right?
How do you tell somebody that, you got to still continue to fight the love? It's like,
But
like they could be going through some crazy situations, but how do you tell them, you got to still fight for love? Like,
fighting. You do.
That's crazy.
You do, but on the same level, like somebody, they be like, you don't need to be with that person. They don't mean you no good. But I can't stop loving them though. What you want me to do? You following me? I can't stop loving the brother.
Right.
You following me?
Yeah.
The sister means so much to me. I can't stop loving her. I know. I get it. I just can't stop loving. So, and I always tell people, if you love somebody, you actually is loving that person, and sometimes it can't be cut off. That yardage goes for like, it's over oceans. You know what I mean? Because I can't stop loving you. I just can't do it.
That's powerful. And it kind of reminds me of when because I met God or felt God's presence for the first time when I was 17 years old. And I remember I was in my room, and this took place over like 3 days, and I used to pray, and I used to be like, God, if you're as real, because this is like 2020 when the world was ending, and people was like, Jesus coming back! So I'm freaking out, you know what I mean? And I remember I used to pray, and I was like, look, God, I don't want this to be like a get out of hell free card. But if you're as real as it's kind of looking like you are, I'm going to need you to show me yourself in a way that I can understand, because my mind is going to try to look for some psychological explanation or scientific explanation. So you have to do something that's going to make me say like, okay, that was God and nothing else but God. And he kind of showed me his presence over the course of 3 days. And when I felt the overwhelming love, that was my first time ever feeling real love. And when I felt the overwhelming love and peace, I was like, the whole world is missing this. I started thinking about every person I've ever knew in my life, situations. I'm talking about like my family members and stuff. I was like, everybody, this is what we're all looking for. People who are millionaires, billionaires, people who are homeless, everybody. This is what we're all looking for. This feeling right here. And we associate this feeling with success. We associate it with popularity. We associate it with a lot of things that really don't mean anything. And it's funny you say that now, because coming back full circle, I see how much of a tool that can become, because like you said, love is an action. And when we think about it, love isn't something that we just want to receive. A lot of the world feels like they've been deprived of love so much that they just want to receive it. But once you kind of shift your mindset and say like, I'm gonna use this, a lot of people don't even know they can use love for anything. But once they say, I'm gonna use this, like, think about what you could accomplish in the world and do for people, and the things that you can change even in your own life. Just start loving yourself, taking care of yourself, taking care of the person next to you, you know what I'm saying, in spite of anything, like you said. And I feel like, with that being said, that love is a true measurement of strength as well, to be able to say like, I'm gonna love this person regardless of anything they've ever done. And I want to ask you, even though love has variance, like, do you believe that love is just black or white, like you either love it or you don't? Even though there's different things you can love, is it black or white to you?
I kind of think so. Yeah. I kind of think. I mean, I think I didn't believe that in the very beginning when I was thinking about love the way that it was temporary, you know, because love can be very, very temporary too, and love can be very conditional. But then when, again, like yourself, when God showed me his love for me, I began to understand it like never before. And it did look totally black and white. Because I basically started understanding that I have to, even, like you were saying a few minutes ago, Jaquan, I had to push to love. I had to, and I still do. You know, I gotta, because I made my mind up that I want to be in the body of Christ the right way. You know, full throttle.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be full throttle. You know, I don't want to be that person who is faking it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I begin to love in spite of. And it's not easy to do that. And I love again and again. I love over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Over. Like, you know, no matter what you do to me, I'm going to still come back and love you. And I'm going to show you I do. I'm going to show you I do. And I'm going to show you that you did hurt me, but I still love you. Yeah. Because I think that it's black and white. You're going to either do or you don't.
Yeah. I mean, no, I was thinking about, you know, how deep love is, because there's so many different facets of love, right? I mean, you can also think about relationships and stuff. Like, Musa, you in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is the love? How is that love being in a relationship versus when you was by yourself, just maybe loving on yourself?
So for me, I'm a type of person that, you know how y'all were just saying people that never felt love. So I feel like you need to love yourself first before you find a relationship. So that's me. Like me, I was raised in a house where there's only love in the house around my. Cause I was raised by my grandmother, which is she always showed me love. So I know what love was. Even growing up by myself, I wasn't going through like that much. To the point that I don't, you know, have to battle with love and what is love and what is not love. Even though Pops was not around that much, but Moms was around. You feel me? Things was not going real smooth, but it was steady. So Mom was there, mother's love, grandmother's love, you know, uncle, family, which was great. That what scares me to today. Sure. So I love myself to the point that me in my relationship basically is still the same. That's what I'm receiving from like the family, from like friends, everyone, the family out here. And my relationship is still the same. So it's like I feel that same love is pure. It's like it's not something that I'm forcing to be like, oh, I'm with my woman or because of we love him because of doing not bad things. We love because we love each other. So you don't have to love someone just because of lust. You don't have to love someone just because I want to do this, I want to do that. Me and my lady, we don't have to do anything. We just love each other because I want to be around her and she want to be around me. Come on. That's what love is. You don't have to love someone because I'm trying to sleep with this person. I'm sorry for anyone who's offended. You know? That's love. You gotta talk about it. You gotta love somebody because you love them. You want to love somebody because you want to love them because of God, you know? Come on. That's the reason why I love my lady. And this is the reason why we're still strong today. It's been 2 years, 2 months. And I love my lady so much to the point that I'm not trading that lady for nothing.
No, for sure.
That's some strong stuff. That's strong.
But you know what's also, I love what you said about, you know, you don't gotta think about the lust. You know, you can love her unconditionally without that lust, you know, or just that perspective of it. You know, I think it's beautiful, but I also learned, you know, in this ministry that, you know, lust is really a lack of love. And that lack of love is because of maybe what you went through, your circumstance, or how life was. You needed that love factor, but you didn't get the love that you wanted. And you didn't understand that it was coming from God at the moment. But that's where that lust came in. You know, and it can be lust for money, it can be lust for women, it can be lust for whatever the case is, you know. But that's where that lust came in. It's the lack of love. And I think that's a powerful statement that you said, you know. Because a lot of men, we have a podcast out there called Abstinence, you know. And we spoke about, you know, what it means to be abstinence and what it means to even love somebody and you don't have to even sleep with that person, you know. So I think that's really powerful.
Right.
But Jazz, I mean, how you feeling about love? What you thinking?
I believe love is living on valuable energy.
Wow.
It is a behavior, it is an action. For me, growing up, love was very different just because I didn't receive love with words of affirmation. I received love with acts of service and gift giving. Not to say that I'm spoiled, but in a sense of, okay, if you do something out of my performance, okay, then here you go as a reward. So I think to me, love was like, oh, if I do something right, then I'll receive that love. If that makes sense. So that's something I'm also trying to figure out as well, because love can be thrown around in so many ways, and it can be uncomfortable. It can be misdemeanor sometimes, but love, I'm learning and I'm progressing.
Wow, amazing.
That's good.
But that, you know what, Jazz, too, just to touch on that, that's a very, very, yeah, it's difficult to even be in that type of position, where you're receiving love in that aspect, you know, because I think then you have to figure out really how to begin the real love.
Yeah.
You know, how do you, because, you know, how do you pour out love? How do you fall in love? How do you, how do
No
you...
way you cry now.
No, seriously, how do you do that without having those other elements? I like to really touch on that. If you guys give me just a minute, let me touch on that just a minute, because I feel as like that is one of the biggest things in the world today, where people do not have the touch of love. Because if you don't get the touch of love, you have to now begin to love or know how to. But I also believe that once that happens, I think it has to happen too. You always hear, and I'll go back to my conversation because I kind of went off a little bit, but you hear sometimes what people say, I didn't know how to love my own kids.
Wow. That's crazy.
No, you hear it a lot.
Like your own child?
Your own child.
Yeah.
That's your child, but yeah, that's
No, it's true.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things where people, and they usually say, because I never received it.
Wow.
And I'm believing that we will do this some justice today. Okay? There's many ways of people not knowing how to love their children. Some people call children being born a mistake.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad, right? Some people don't know how to, they have not separated, and I'm telling y'all, a lot of people have, but a lot of people have not. They do not know how to separate what's going on in life. They keep lifing. And when they start to have children, it makes no difference to them. It makes no difference whatsoever. So they continue to life. And they have children, and they do not look at that child as something that they have to pour a bunch of love in. And some people believe that they don't have to do it, that they'll find it eventually.
Wow.
And some children actually do find it eventually, but in the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
In the wrong way. And so because of my profession, who I am,
Yeah.
I've discovered this in a bunch of people, that they do not have the element of, they never had it. They never had mom and dad to sit with them and cuddle them. When I was having my first child, I already know about love, so I know about all the kissing and everything. But what happened is, when I was in the hospital, they said they was giving classes, and they said, in order for this baby, like, because people that is brand new parents, they said in order for this baby to grow up healthy, you're gonna have to kiss it a lot. You're gonna have to snuggle it.
Really?
Skin to
Yes.
skin.
No, that's right, skin to skin. And this is why I'm saying the touch element.
That's crazy.
The touch element. Because they literally said, if you put a baby, you grow a baby up, and you never smell it, kiss it, love it, tickle it, do all of that, that baby eventually die.
Wow.
Wow.
I lied to you not. This was a pediatrician doing this class to say, if you ignore this baby, if you never ever show it any type of affection at all, or either interact with it at all, you can change it, you can even feed it, but if you ignore this baby will die. And there is such thing as dying from a broken heart.
Wow.
And this is exactly what it would have been.
Wow.
A lack of love.
That's crazy.
A lack of love.
That's crazy. And you know, I always think about people in relationships, like they get into tough relationships. It becomes toxic. It started with love, and then it ends up in a whole different field.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how does it go from I love you, I love you, I love you, I want to see you every day, to I hate the living, I don't even want to see.
It was never love.
It was never love.
It was never ever love.
Yeah.
It was just what he was talking about,
Right.
and partially what she was talking about.
Right. But what about the people in a relationship that is one-sided? Maybe one person loves a lot and the other person never really did love. You know?
No, I think so me myself, to be honest with you guys who's doing that, I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
cut it off. Cut it off.
Yeah.
And it may be hard for you to do that, but cut it off. Because if you don't cut that off, it's going to be a disaster later on.
Wow.
Because it's one-sided.
Yeah.
And if you, love doesn't have to have the same exact weight in a relationship. But love definitely has to be mutual.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's like, I love my husband a whole lot, but I can't stand when he walked through the carpet with his shoes on.
Yeah.
It's got to be, you know what? I love my wife, but she spends too much money.
Yeah.
But I love her to death, but she just spends too much money.
Yeah.
But anytime that love starts to base it, so remember, love has very different variables, but it also has limits. Some love is limits. Remember, I was talking about the measurement. It's measured. It's measured, and if that love is measured, that's not love.
Right.
That's not love.
Right.
And sometimes you can test that to see if that is exactly where it is.
Do you believe that you can be with somebody and love them, but them not like loving you back on a romantic level? Like really be in love with a person and knowing this person does not love you back, but you're continuing the relationship? I feel like at that point you're starting to search for something and maybe you didn't understand love.
No, because I think that love is also musical.
Oh, that
took a twist.
that's a whole
No, I
different
do
bar
not.
right there.
I think that love is musical.
I never heard that one.
It's like a violin or a piano.
That was love that you just did?
I was trying to drink about it. No, seriously, I think love is a musical instrument, you guys. And then when you cut that musical instrument, wait a minute. Either you play that doggone thing again. This is why when you go out to different restaurants and you know you loving somebody, especially men, they used to do it. Y'all probably ain't know about this, but they used to do it all. They used to do do it all the
Teachers
time.
did.
They used to go into these fancy restaurants, and they knew that there was going to be some music played, and the man would tell the musical person, "Come and serenade my lady at the table."
Wow.
So romantic. I
Wow,
wish they
wow.
started doing that again. No, but that's musical. It's musical because music brings stop. Music brings on another. So that right there is, I call that musical love. Musical love.
That's different.
Yeah, there's so many type of elements of love.
Yeah.
Do you believe in right person, wrong time?
I do. I really do believe in that because I believe that. And then sometimes, so this is another thing. Some people tell me that they want to get married. They want to marry a specific person, but the person is not ready to get married. And what I say to them, well, if you really love that person, whoever he or whoever she is, you are going to wait for 25, 30 years until that person is ready. Because otherwise, you really wasn't in love, right? And that really wasn't the person for you.
Because love is not selfish.
No. And love waits. Love waits. Listen, y'all. I waited for my husband. I waited for my husband 27 years. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
But don't you believe that? So, you know how God created the heavens and the earth, right? God created everything, right? Everything that happens in any moment was written down that this is what's gonna happen, right?
Absolutely.
So, people that force themselves into relationships, right? And then they end up like what she just said, the right person, the wrong time. Like, you know how we say there's always, your time will always be there when it's like the right time. So it's written. If God said you find love this year, you'll find love this year. Because God always knows what's going to happen, because it was already written. The day you will die, the day you will get rich, the day you find the love of your life, the day you feel what love is. You know, people that are lost right now, that don't even know what love is, like trying to find love. Oh, love, it's not your time yet for you to find love. You know, that's why you don't know what love is. Right? You need to find a way for you to connect with God. Right? You have to love God for you to know what love is.
Right.
So for
100%.
people
100%.
that are all in this toxic relationships, all this stuff that they don't even know what love is, they can't even love themselves. They don't know who God is, or they're not really close to God for them to understand what love is. So I think you need to wait for your time, and you need to spend more time trying to connect yourself with the love that you're trying to give to somebody, trying to please other people. And you can, like you were saying, being in a relationship with someone that you love but they do not love you. You know, you trying to make somebody happy. You're trying so hard, trying to love somebody, trying to give them everything, right? But they're not showing you the same thing, the same results back. Yeah, all that energy you put into that person, bro, take that time and go talk to God.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So God can like redirect you back.
I agree with you. 100%. Yes, I
You don't have to rush anything in life. I think you just have to speak to the bigger one. So they can redirect you down. So everything is time. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Like,
So I want to ask y'all, you know, all of you guys a question. You know, you always hear this growing up. You always hear this in life. Love at first sight. Is that a real? I mean, what do y'all feel about love at first sight? What you think?
I don't think that applies to me just yet, maybe, but I do find, people attractive. So I guess you could say love at first sight because I love the way that they look, not the way that they are. Maybe yes. So
I don't believe in it.
No. Why?
It's I think it's just a word, right? You can see someone. I think it's just a word, right? You, like she said, it makes sense. You know, you can find someone today. Oh, she's beautiful. Pastor, yeah, she's beautiful. I love her, right? But I don't think that is love at first sight. I don't really believe in like when people just use words and just want to be like, oh, this is something that really happens. Because you cannot just meet someone you don't know and you just say, oh, I love you. Oh, I'm in love with this person. I don't even know you. it would take time for me to know you and to understand if I really love you or not. Because love takes time. You have to. You see how relationships goes for like just 4 months and people just break up or get out of it. They don't know each other. I don't know you, so it would take me time for me to know you and love you. So love at first sight, like how does that work?
That's a great question. What you think, Shay?
Honestly, I believe romantically, maybe not on a romantic level, but if we even think about from God, like we're called to love everybody. You know what I mean? And so if we take a step out of romance for a second, I could look at somebody who just committed the most heinous crime. I have to love that person. First time I've ever seen that
100%.
I have to. They had that did something atrocious, and I have to go up to them and be used to show them a better way, but by showing them love. So I do believe from that perspective, love at first sight is real. I mean, Jesus loved without sight. You know what I mean? Like, he was going crazy. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
He did what he did on the cross for us, and we haven't even seen him. We haven't even met him face to face.
Yeah.
So but romantically, I don't know if love is at first sight is real. I do believe if you think about that question from a lens of how much you love someone based on their attractiveness, then maybe I don't know if that's a solid understanding of the question. Because I've met people. I mean, I've met people, and I felt like a vibe, and it wasn't even anything about the way they looked, but it was just about the energy. And I could feel like this was somebody that on some type of deeper level I connected with. You know what I mean? Without having to, you know what I'm saying, spend a bunch of time with them. And let's jump back out of romance. I'm pretty sure we've all met a homie, and it's like first time meeting, bro. It feels like you've known him your whole life. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think there's levels to it, but romantically, I don't know about that.
I definitely think that's how.
On a romantic level?
Absolutely. I do. I believe that you can look at a person immediately and say, I don't care who.
I need that.
I don't even need that. I don't even need that. I don't even need that. Okay. Cut that out of the But
now we're keeping it raw.
Everything raw.
No, I think that's definitely true. You can meet somebody for the very first time, you lock eyes with that person, I'm telling you, you ain't going no, and the feeling is mutual. Yes, it is. But let me tell you this, it's very isolated. It's not always the norm.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's very rare.
It's scary though.
It's
like,
rare.
what if
it's rare?
You feel that way, but a person doesn't.
No, they do. No, this is what I'm saying. It's a mutual thing at a glance. I happen to look. There's so many people that been married like that for years. I mean, and for the rest of their life. Because I took one look at her, I knew. She ain't going nowhere. I ain't letting her get out of my sight, or in the same vice versa. You know, no. And it's not always a physical thing. It's a heartbeat thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Talk about the heart.
Yeah, it's about the heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's about that heartbeat coming out of your chest.
Wow.
Like you feel it inside of your heart. Because so you feel it inside of your No, seriously, y'all.
Yeah.
You feel your heart about to come and walk across the street. Not even walk, run across the street. Just because that person came in front of you.
That's crazy.
Y'all listen, it's like your heart go nuts. Like you look at the person and it has nothing to do with physical looks. It's just the fact that this person came in front of you and your heart go crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And the feeling is mutual. Cause the back and forth, the person says, "That's how my heart was feeling." Your heart was feeling like, your heart was feeling like that. Mine was too. Mine was trying to rip out of my chest. It was clawing at my chest just because you looked at me. No, seriously, y'all. Yes, I do.
How you feeling about that? You know,
the marriage and all that.
Oh man.
Yeah, I met my girl 2 years ago.
Right.
You know, I met her on Instagram, so I never met her in person. I met her on Instagram, so like just scrolling through like followers, and then like I came across like her page and something, and I was like, I don't know, it was just something about her. It wasn't about. I told my friend, I was like, it's something about her. Till this day, I always tell, if I call her, I'll be like, what was the thing that I told you when I first talked to you? It wasn't about anything that has to do with your body or anything. She would still tell you till this day. I respected her from the first day I talked to her. I was like, we were on the phone. I was like, bro, there's something about you that I don't know what it is, but it's just, I like it and I love it. I don't know what it is. I used to say, oh, the love at first sight thing.
That's love at first sight, brother.
But I think that's
Okay, you just
That's love at
said
first sight, brother.
when I first saw her, I was looking at her, I was like, she's just natural. Like, she's just herself, right?
Wow.
It's not like too much going on with her.
Yeah.
She's just her. If you look at her, she's just her, right?
Yeah.
So, you know the heartbeat you were talking about? It was the same thing for her, too.
Wow.
She didn't like me for a while.
See what he talking
I
about?
did not know what was going on, you know?
That's what it is.
I talked to her, and she was like, yeah, I felt the same way when I first saw you on Instagram, too. You was, doing your thing.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, so it was being this way the whole time? So we didn't talk for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to, I was like, you know what, let me just reach out. So I texted her, we started talking, we talked on the phone. It was too natural. It was like nothing forced into it.
I love it.
Nothing.
I love that.
So we talked like
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
every day, every day.
Yeah.
And I was giving
That's
time
crazy.
for me to get to know her. And until this day, she believed in me and everything that I got
she
going
does.
on. She always pushed me to pursue my dreams and all that.
That's
It's
amazing.
all about communication,
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
respect each other.
Yeah.
Don't go out the way asking for things that don't have to be included
Come
into the
on.
relationship,
That's real. That's
Come on.
Respect your woman no matter what. And till this day, I told my mom, I was like, I want to be her mom. I want to marry this girl. That's my aim right now.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
she says love at first sight, but may God bless the unit.
Yeah, that's it.
But you know one thing too, in that story, when you start telling that story to your kids, that's gonna be a whole nother.
Set the standard.
Yeah,
Another
it's
love.
gonna be a whole nother, and the way that they're gonna treat you and their mom, they're gonna be like, my mother and father loved each other off a rip from the very beginning, and it was pure. That's the type of love that is going on, and that's an everlasting love. That ain't going nowhere never.
Amen.
Nowhere never.
Yeah. Wow.
That's beautiful. I love stories like that.
Yeah.
That is very romantic. A lot of people feel like romantic stories are, oh, he took me to the top of the Empire State. No.
Yeah.
It's simple stuff just like that. That's the rich stuff.
Yeah.
That's the real stuff to me. That makes it where it's so amazing that we had the same type of mutual thing going on. And sometimes people fall in love and don't have a mutual thing going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little off.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask that
It's a
question.
little off at first.
So
It's
not
like,
every successful relationship is love at first sight.
nah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I could not stand him. No, that's not me. That's not me. But no, hypothetically speaking, I mean,
Yeah.
I could not stand him. I could not stand her. She was, I couldn't stand the way she walked. I couldn't stand the people she hung around. And eventually, something clicked. Something clicked, and the love was everlasting.
So we back on the topic of love. We talked about it. We want to talk about it a little bit deeper on another deeper level. I'm thinking like, a lot of people associate love with relationships. What's some advice y'all would give for those who are just getting into a new relationship and really want to understand the dynamic of love? What do y'all think?
New relationships, when you are everybody is going into a relationship, right? I think again, there's so many ways that you have to look at it, and this is one of the reasons why I don't like to talk across the board, right? Because some people are going into relationships without love, or even without the intention of falling in love. You know what I mean? But some people are. I'll just take it from the people that is definitely going in to discover love and to take the relationship further. New relationships are always brand new, and they always feel brand new. Everything is so lovely. That's in every relationship. Everything is lovely. is like, oh wow, this is what we did, this is what we about to do, we gonna go here, she brought me this, I brought her that, da. All of that is brand new, so it appears that it's gonna roll that way forever. No, it's not gonna do that. And I always tell people when they get in a relationship, and if the relationship is going to be a real serious relationship, if both people are mutually, I like to say, find out really what a person is looking for. Nobody will ever throw you off the loop, because they don't know unless somebody investigated you, and I know some people do. They be investigating you like, I got a whole list about exactly what she is like, what she don't like, and all of that, or vice versa, right? But they still can't take you once you start asking people questions in a relationship, they got to give you, you're going to pick it up. If you keen enough, you're going to pick it up. And there's some people, not to be funny, but there's some people that's not keen enough. They just in it, just be like, I don't care, and they're not keen. But if two people are going, so you asking questions, and two people are going into a relationship, I always say, in a relationship, don't try to go all high. You know?
That part.
Right.
That part.
Because sometimes we be going high trying to win the person over. Right?
Yeah.
And I always say, if you start at 2,000, you got to go to 3,000. You're never going to be able to come back down. You're never going to be able to. Because the moment you come down, if you starting at 2,000, the gift was 2,000. You starting at the $2,000 gift. You better not try to bring this person a $100 gift. Better not. Because then that's when it's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. What happened to all of... There's no way to aim high. And I think with real relationships, too, you just got to be yourself. You got to be... I don't care. So yeah, it is. I don't care if you just... Whoever you are, be you. That's the best thing that you can present a person with, is to be you. Yeah. So relationships in the initial phase, everything works out right. Everything. Yeah. And it's just going to look like that. But how long is that going to last if you really want a real relationship? And do not aim high. Yeah. Aim right at ground level. Because if he love you at ground level, he going to love you at the high level. If she love you on the ground, she going to love you up there too. And if she don't love you on the ground, then she ain't for you, and he ain't for you if he ain't loving you on the ground. Yeah. So being yourself is key to any real relationship. Period. Yeah. And then, wait a minute, I just want to touch this too. Fake and phony relationships. And people be freaking me out right now because they be telling me about how these relationships be going. And people are just trying to do a whole bunch of... And then they say that there's no real relationships today. They're all fake. They are fake, like AI. They are AI.
Oh.
They are AI relationships.
Wow.
And that is crazy because then when can you love? When can you really, right?
Yeah.
When can you discover love?
Yeah.
When can you really, it's hard to really figure out, but people need to stop. Yeah. People need to stop because there is people trying to really get married. There's people really trying to fall in love. But key points, just go to ground level. Yeah. Why would you want to go anywhere else? What are you trying to win? Right. What are you trying to do? How are you trying to win them over? If you have to win somebody over, you need to stop immediately.
So
seriously.
What would you have to say? Because I can already hear the way certain people would. I can already hear the way certain people will reply to that now. What would you have? Because a lot of people, when they hear go to ground level, to them, they don't understand what you mean. And they don't understand, you're telling them to be, level-headed about it. Don't have these crazy high, just inflated ways of looking at relationships. What would you say to the person who thinks that you're telling them to settle? You know what I mean? And the person who thinks, well, should I expect nothing then? Should I just not shoot for anything then?
No, because this is what I'm thinking, y'all, and I know that this is true. And that's a very good question, by the way. I think somebody going into a relationship, okay, what are you going to relationship with? I literally tell men, like, men be going in relationships. They started off the relationship with her boobs out to the yonder, right?
That's wild.
And she had on shorts that was showing both cheeks, and he loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it. Now, 3 months down the line, he's telling her, don't put on, I don't want your boobs.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You wanted that. That's what you did. You wanted that at first. So why you don't want it now? What was that all about?
Right.
There's no change in that. Come on, y'all. See, that's what I'm talking about by ground level. Be who you are. If you liked her that way in the beginning, wait until she gets sick of doing it. If you liked him when he was sagging and you don't want him to sag no more, no, right? Just wait until he's tired of sagging, ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, because we get really messed up. And this is another thing. He cheated on his girlfriend or his wife to get to you. Do you think he ain't gonna cheat on you to get to? And I mean, there is a small chance. I mean, 1% that is not gonna do that. Probably about 1%. So you search for that 1% all you would like. But if you found her, she was already in a relationship, and she was loving on this dude, and now you come, you snatched her from him. Guess what? It's coming back around.
Exactly.
It's coming back around. So there's no way of doing that. I like to tell people go to ground level and be real about relationships. I'm saying that because of basically what I'm hearing today. People are just fake with relationships. It's very fake. And so how do you fall in love?
Yeah.
How do you fall in love? Y'all better do like Coming to America, Eddie Murphy. He had to go to Queens to get a queen. So you just got to be careful. No, I think that really ground level relationships is the only way. Be real.
Yeah.
And why would you not want to be? There's no impressing nobody. This is just who I am. Take me or leave me. Take me or leave me. Because at the end of the day, I cannot play around with you if I'm trying to get into a real relationship. And then I love this because I love the fact that I want people to understand too that who you are is extraordinary. You're real. You're bigger than anything. So why would you want somebody to be seeing you in a light where you really isn't? Because if you started off, you got to finish it. And if you don't finish it, then that's on you.
Yeah.
When they start, that's what the falling out of love thing is.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You know?
Well, Musa, you were saying something on that. What you had in mind?
He gonna turn his neck like look, ding, 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 ding.
Oh. So when you were saying the fake love thing, right there, because you know nowadays a lot of people like this generation, people will try to impress you to be in a relationship with you.
Right.
They will show you things they don't even have.
Come on.
They will rent cars to flex on you, to
Come
show
on.
you that this is what I have, to just be with you in a relationship. That's why you were talking about the levels, high or the low or the highs.
That's right.
See, because you doing that, showing the girl that, oh, I have all this stuff, like, and then you don't have it. You know, so now you're giving her that mindset of her thinking that, oh, this guy is all the way up there, right? He have all this stuff, and she end up finding out that you don't have anything. Now you put her mindset to think that she's up on the high level, which is you not being yourself,
right?
Because you're trying to like impress this girl, you're trying to do all this stuff. You're not being yourself.
You right.
Yeah.
You just want to impress her.
That's right.
By showing her all this stuff, like, so that's why they wonder why the relationship doesn't last, right? Because what you are not being yourself.
You were
now
not being
in
yourself.
2-3 months later, you don't have all that stuff anymore. Now she's not interested in you because what you sold her, you sold her a dream, because she was thinking that, oh yeah, this guy is him.
That's right.
And now you don't have that. Now she's trying to back out, and you're trying to wonder like, why isn't it like holding on tight? You know?
Yeah. And Musa, also from the level of you are trying to impress her with that stuff, and your bank account is only at 0. Your
What?
bank account.
I don't even know how you even got there.
See that one?
Your bank
Nah, say it
account.
the way you said it before.
Your bank account.
There you go.
See, that's the thing. You ain't even got. You right. You don't even have no bank account.
Exactly.
And you trying to show this lady that, and she's basically thinking you got a bank account. But ladies, stop trying to think these guys got bank accounts. Stop it. Stop it. Investigate.
Exactly.
If they really have a bank account.
Exactly.
But then if you're looking for the bank account, then you still got a problem.
Right.
Right? But then men still stop trying to impress the ladies. Stop trying to impress us like that.
Okay. So my question is, what's the difference between impressing and being, just like a gentleman, being chivalrous, like just trying to court a woman? What's the difference?
The difference is be yourself.
That's not true.
I was myself though.
If
when I met my girl,
But if you, that's right. You
I
were.
didn't show her anything.
That's right. Exactly. And so therefore, if you trying to impress her, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Why do you need to impress her? You are who you are. And if that's the way that you think like that, if you think high like that, that's good. That's good. But keep doing it. Go higher and higher. This is why I said if you start at 2,000, you better go to 3. You better not try to come and then, oh, well, she loved me when no, it doesn't work that way. She loved you at 2,000 because you was giving her 2,000. You presented her with 2,000, right? Women, with us women, if you come into us with 2,000, we're looking for the 3. Aren't we?
We are.
We looking for the 3. We can't, because we not trying to, and then we don't need to be impressed like that.
Yeah.
We don't need to. We need to basically see where your heart at. Unless you get in somebody who is definitely a gold digger. Then that's what you gonna get. I ain't mad with nobody. That's what you gonna get.
That go both ways, men and women.
That's right. It goes both ways. But that's what you gonna get. And if you do have any real money, she's gonna drain every dollar that you have.
Yo.
Yeah,
That's love, right? Or is that? No,
That
that ain't
gold digger
love.
thing. We need to talk about
That's
the gold digger thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on with gold diggers.
Gold diggers, yeah.
That is not like the right way you should go.
No,
It either goes both ways for men and for women.
that's right.
So
It does.
I'm not gonna only focus on it's just the ladies
Yeah.
that be doing that.
Yeah.
No, it's the men too.
Men too do that.
Yeah.
The men
that's
is definitely
facts.
Men
doing
go
it.
digging.
100%.
And
That's
they
not a
thinking,
good way to go.
no, it's not. But the people are talking, and then they talking about they were in love. You know, they were in love. They weren't in love. They was in love with either money or things.
Yeah, things you have.
And I don't know, but thank you, Holy Ghost. Here we go. They thinking that they real people, and they really trying to get people everything, trying to rip people off and stuff. And this is I only want a man if he got stuff to give me. I don't. Why though?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Why? Because that lady, to me, not to be funny, ladies, call me what you want, will never be married. I mean, if you do get married, you won't be happy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You will not be happy.
Exactly.
Wow, wow.
Be an issue.
It's going to be an issue because a man is going to literally understand eventually that you only came to them because of money. And then that type of man better have a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But that's very unfair to treat a man that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very
Doesn't
unfair.
last.
And the same thing with a man if he's doing it to a woman. But this is not, those people really don't be in love.
Right, right.
They really don't be in love.
Yeah, that's
It's
facts.
just dollar signs.
And I agree with what you were saying earlier, because I feel like a lot of dudes who do that don't understand they're selling themselves short on who they really are.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like you have to show this
Come on.
girl the cars or this to that just for her to like you, you're basically saying that the cars and everything is worth more than who you are.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And you never grow like that. You'll never build a long-lasting, real intimate, deep, passionate love with somebody like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of dudes need to understand, like if you are going out of your way to be somebody you're not for a woman, you don't really value who you are yet. So I think you should start.
And it is low self-esteem.
Yeah.
It's just low self-esteem. There is no high self-esteem, and some people do have high self-esteem and is way high, and they're aiming high, and that's okay too. But as long as you are consistent, because that's nothing wrong with if you feel like you're here, but you gotta understand that sometimes you do have to come down. It's all a balancing act, and it's all about love, and it's all about real love. It can't be about material stuff.
Yeah.
It can't always be about the yachts and the jewelry and the shoes and the pocketbooks and the suits and the stuff. It can't always be that. It's got to come down. It's got to come down. And I think God wants us to understand what love really is and how it is stable and how rich it is, so that we can become something that our relationships do last. A covenant marriage, meaning that it has a contract on it. It's holy. It's a good marriage. It's a marriage that is going to last for the lifetime. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
So if you get married and then your spouse died, they're still, and some people say, I'm never getting married again.
Right.
Well, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we didn't even get into the sexual part of it, to be honest with you. Right? So even with marriage is a thing where we of course, consummated marriages, you know what I mean? And some people they didn't even have any they didn't have any sexual intercourse before getting married. Some people getting married as virgins. You following me? And that's okay.
Right.
That's okay to do. And then I was touching base on like your spouse dying, then you marry again. Because all of us, God created us as man and woman, and to basically be able to love each other and actually have sexual love. Because that's the other part of love, right? Especially in a relationship, and He wants us to be sexually active. You know what I mean? So therefore we begin to, and that never stops. And I think that people, and it's okay, I'm not trying to make nobody just keep getting married just because their spouse died, but I'm telling you that there is still love after that. I mean, you find somebody else, it's not that you're still in love. Some people, they go crazy with it. Well, I gotta have their ashes, and they I gotta have their monuments all over the walls and stuff like that. No, I mean, not to be funny, but they're gone. And I know that might be harsh for some people, but they're gone. And life still trembles on. It travels.
So what would you say? Because I see a lot of people who are always looking for a relationship, who are always trying to find something. Can you find love, like a real genuine?
Nah.
Can you go search for that?
You can't. I don't think you can.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
But I don't think you can.
Yeah.
The only love that you can, don't get me started.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to get right. That's right. The only love you can truly, truly find is Jesus Christ on God.
For sure.
Amen.
That's the only love you can go seeking for and find. Other than that, no.
I feel like I'm talking to like 90% of the population.
Yeah.
But it's the truth. Because you can fall in love. You can. But if you start going to search for, this is why people get on drugs. This is why people are alcohol bound. This is why people go, I call it lifing. This is why people doing all of this other stuff. This is why people get in trouble trying to find love. Love is not to be found.
Wow.
I don't believe it is. I believe that you fall in love. It is a hit that you get, and that hit is real. And like you was explaining a little while ago, earlier, is one of those things that you just, it's like you come into, you know how you at an intersection and the cars happen to come and then they go right. Love is a collision.
Oh yeah.
It really is. It's a collision. I think that you cannot look for that no matter how hard you find it. I mean, you can look for it, but you're not going to find it that way. You need to let love come to you, but again, you should, like Musa said as well, love yourself. Love yourself.
So with knowing that love is going to come to you, how do you know? Because there is action that needs to be taken, especially as a man.
Yeah, love is behavior.
So
Love it.
It's valuable.
That's
but
right.
how do you know when to take that action? You know what I mean? How do you know, like, all right, I'm not forcing nothing?
Very good question. You got some. What? But that's a very, very good question. Again, I think you have to settle. I think that people are looking for love. Again, we kind of went over this, but I think people are looking for love because of the lack of love that they've had, the lack of love that they've been shown, and that makes people search. And when people start searching for love, they always go into a wall. They always, you can Google it, you can search it, ask God. They always go into a wall.
Right.
And they always some people feel like they never been loved.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
But the Bible said that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever shall believe on him should not perish, but they should have everlasting life. But that everlasting life, I'm telling you, it draws us in on a love factor. And I don't care if the day we got baptized, we never felt no love. But that love, that thing that made us become baptized, is that love. It's that love, and we just don't recognize it as such.
Oh, yeah.
We don't recognize it as such. So we have to be very, we can't ever go looking for love unless we're going to turn this page of this right here.
Oof.
This is the way you look for it.
Wow.
I'm serious. This is the way you look for love. Look, you see mine, I've been looking for it. Look, but no, I found it, and this is the way you look for love right here, right here. Because even in love, like you were saying earlier, strategist is forgiveness. If we're not able to forgive, we can't love.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not about yourself. It's about caring for others.
That's right.
Right. Wow.
Love is very selfless.
Yeah.
So it's not self-seeking.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's within, and it's God.
Yeah, it's God.